And that reminds me of another song. If you could talk about the track called Recovery.
Oh yeah. Um, that song, I had that song for years, maybe like almost 8 years when I put it on that record. It was a song I wrote, I believe, for somebody else. And I wrote it about, I wrote it from, not silly way, but like I wrote it from my ex's perspective when I left. And I just was like trying to remind myself not to like, bug her or kind of be, to like deal with all my guilt with them, and be like kind of, feeling bad and constantly checking in and stuff. And I didn't do that. I think it was a good idea. And then, when I was on the other side of that in the next relationship, I really felt it, and it felt like the right time to put it on a record. And so, that obviously deals with just trying to get over someone and knowing that it's a process and it takes time.
It's funny how that time and maturity kind of makes you react different to that. I know it took me a long time. It's still taking me time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's, you kind of unravel it in your head over time. And, and ultimately, like, as you probably know, I mean, anyone who thinks it's like, one person's fault is, I don't know, they need to live a little more, because it's never one person's fault,
I spoke with you a little bit about this last time, and if we could go there again, I was hoping you could take just a few minutes and talk about gender, because you seem really nonconformist and like you can be yourself anywhere, and just wonder how much judgment you've suffered for that, and do you still?
I don't accept judgment for that. That's not really on the table. I don't really give a shit. I don't care what you think about how I carry myself or how I walk into a room. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, I have my own experiences. I roll how I roll, and the people that like it, they like it, and the people that don't like it can suck it. I really don't care. Like, it's not up for discussion. Who I fuck, what I fuck, how I fuck. So there you go. You should get enough fucks on there on the air. I just don't. It's not. Yeah, it's just one of those things that I don't. And I'm not one of those people that I don't ask for acceptance of it either. It's just like, it's not really in the conversation. It's like, I don't remember like straight people walking up to other straight people being like, "Hey, so that's your wife? She blows you every night? Crazy. Wow." It's like, it's none of your fucking business. So deal with it.
Right. And we are in a state and city where a lot of people can still get fired for being different. So what words would you share with those folks who are struggling with that in the world we're living in right now?
I mean, that's a hard one because, I built my life so I don't have to care, but I understand, I have empathy for people who have to care. I think that, I think it's, not to sound like a huge hippie, but I think it's like the vibration of how what you are willing to accept and not accept, and treating people with respect and dignity, whether they like you or not. Just knowing that, just feeling comfortable in your own skin, the more comfortable you can feel. And, that comes from, community and friends and things like this, and trying to find people. I don't believe in isolating yourself within the community. I'm a advocate of diversity. I don't want to hang out with like 40 people who look like me or act like me. It's just not my vibe. So, but I do think that being part of a community, at times and knowing that I'm not alone made me feel better. And then I can go out in the world and add my diversity into the world. I mean, we all have a place in this world. That's the biggest thing. You deserve your space in this world, and nobody is going to tell you different. And, and we're met with like opposition, obviously. And, when those times happen, maybe, more so lean on community. But I think, it's the people that came before us that broke down the doors and the walls, for us to live freer and have a more beautiful experience as far as being, on the spectrum, whatever it is. I think, we owe it to them to also be strong. It's like, shit moves at a glacial pace sometimes, but that doesn't make it a bad thing. It's just like we are all, a brick in the wall, as somebody said. It's so good. Forget.
And, I was thinking about this morning that I was going to talk to you about this, and some people were talking about a gender reveal party. And I was thinking how primitive that's going to be someday, that we have to associate a baby with a color. Why?
Yeah, it's like, it's a life. Why not a life color? Like whatever. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's we still have so far to go, right? And those people, I don't want to frown on the people who who revel in the practices of old. I mean, you can't force feed enlightenment onto anybody. It's not. First of all, it's not right in my opinion, and second of all, you just can't. Motherfuckers have to come on that shit themselves. Beep beep boop boop. Are you beeping out curses? You sound like a rap song.
I just want you to be yourself, so don't worry about that at all.
I will.
Thanks for your discussion on all of that. And I wonder if you could, I know you've talked about this before, but there's so much to say with your song Lost on You and what you went through before and after that song. That song came during a really interesting and weird time in my life. I felt like I felt both my relationship, like my lover, and my record deal, kind of like whatever my push, like that was like kind of supposed to be happening, kind of wane and go by the wayside, and I didn't really, and there was nothing to do about it. Like it was like happening, at a really slow, methodical pace, and you kind of like there's nothing I couldn't keep her from kind of falling for someone else, or I couldn't stop people that loved me from getting fired from the label, and new people coming in and being like, what the hell is that, so it was kind of a little bit of a helpless place, and and again it was from both sides, from a personal and professional. And I remember Lost on You was definitely my heart set, my mindset at the time. And I remember I used to look in 2015 or so, I was always like, man, that was the worst year ever, But then when 2016 came along and it was a hit in all those countries, Lost on You was, I was like, it's that was maybe one of the best years of my life, because I wrote that song and a bunch of other songs that really changed my life and changed my whole career and everything. And I sort of in some ways liken it to 2020 and stuff, where we're just very ready to bash on 2020. And yes, there's a lot to bash, and it was not pleasant. It is not pleasant still, but it's kind of fertile ground for future kind of appreciation and understanding of what's important. So when you're going with the suffering, I think is fertile ground. Your new music projects, waiting for the album to come out, and I see tours are already planned, which is pretty exciting. The only bad news I have is that I don't see Boise on there, but I do see Portland and Seattle, so I'm going to cross my fingers.
There you go. Yeah, it's that's going to happen. I mean, I don't know. It might get, might be pushed again. We don't know. I know, everybody's the whole touring world, all bands in the world. It's kind of hard to believe. It's such a weird thing to think because usually if you can't tour, there's other people capitalizing on all, right. And it's there's just not happening right now. It doesn't matter who you are. You can be the Rolling Stones or whatever, and no touring for you. Sorry. So we're just waiting to hear stuff, and see how the vaccine rolls out and, all the things.
Yeah. Well, looking forward to it, and really do hope you come through Boise, talking to LP. Yeah. And the website is imlp.com, and you're on all kinds of other social media. I'm enjoying your Instagram. Of course, you're out there on everything. Can you tell us a little bit about the song Muddy Water?
Muddy Waters? I wrote that with this guy, Josh Record, in England, in London one time. And, I just, that was another, one for the, I was feeling the ominousness of that year. And I think I wrote that, I might have written that a bit later in the end of 2014, because I think that was one of the one of the 3 songs I played for Warner Brothers, and then they dropped me, and then I moved on with my life in a much better fashion. But yeah, it was like, so I was still feeling that, you know, that loss. And I was, you know, wanting to write something that just felt very dark and ominous. And, you know, I was likening, I love when things are like, have this duality to it, you know, like Muddy Waters is such a great artist. And I was like, I wonder if I could like write a song that has nothing to do with Muddy Waters, but like, you know, and just to, you know, it's like basically a metaphor for like, you know, like it's a co-metaphor for like destroying our planet, and for like like likening that to like the destruction of a relationship, where just like, you know, shit's the bed or whatever. But you know, it started from, we wrote it from that little guitar thing, and we had like a chain in the studio. Nice. We had a chain in the studio. I'll hold it like this. You don't hold it like that. It's a chain. I certainly do hold it like that. Yeah. So anyway, and it was just like, it was not a, it sounds like, I do it with the tambourine on stage, but it's a, it started from like basically just a piece of chain. Chain, chain, chain. Yeah.
All right, LP. Thanks for joining us, and for the second time.
That's it? Was it the hand motion that got you? Oh, no problem.
No, not at all.
Fucking with you. All right. Thank you so much.
So much.
Nice seeing you again.
Right, you too.
You're adorable. All right,
Thanks.
see you.
Bye.
Bye. See you. Bye.